A single man's suitcase was found to be full of silicone during a security check. Pressing on it produced a sound. The security officer asked the man to open his suitcase for inspection. The man appeared very nervous, especially since there were minors around, but the officer suspected there was something dangerous in the suitcase. Despite the man's repeated assurances that it was just personal belongings, the officer insisted on opening it. When the man didn't comply, the officer took out his radio to call the police. The man quickly presented his legal documents, but after reviewing them, the officer requested additional police support. It seemed the man couldn't avoid further scrutiny. Reluctantly, the man opened the suitcase. The tension rose dramatically. Even a nearby little girl looked serious as the suitcase slowly opened. The girl wiped the mud from her face, only to find her eyes had mysteriously vanished, along with her nose and mouth. She couldn't see anything or make a sound, and in terror, a lump of sludge suddenly jumped out of a well. The mud revealed the girl's missing eyes, nose, and mouth. The mud monster stood up and started following her. Seeing this, the girl's father grabbed his shotgun and fired at the mud, causing it to explode instantly. But the mud monster quickly reformed itself. It arrogantly charged toward the girl. A woman standing by the door picked up a scythe and sliced the creature in half. But even as it was split, the remaining half of the mud monster stretched out its long arms, reaching dozens of meters through the door, grabbing the girl and pulling her into its body.
Oh, it tastes good!
The girl's father frantically gave chase, while the mud monster taunted him as it ran away. The village was thrown into panic as more and more girls went missing. A boy was horrified to find that the braces in his mouth suddenly sprouted countless wires that quickly spread across his head. He tried to escape, but strangely, the door slammed shut on its own. The boy's parents immediately realized something was wrong and rushed upstairs, but they couldn't open the door. Desperate, the father rammed the door open. What they saw was shocking. Their son was entangled in the wires, hanging from the ceiling with only his eyes visible. The father tried to rescue him, but as soon as he touched the wires, they started wrapping around his arm. The harder he pulled, the tighter the wires became. Suddenly, the mother noticed the wires moving towards an electrical outlet. Panicked, she quickly grabbed the wires. The moment the wires touched the plug, they vanished. The family had narrowly escaped, and they hurried downstairs. The father cursed the evil spirit, only to be suddenly flung across the room. The evil spirit appeared on the couch. At a dental clinic, the dentist faced a tricky situation. A patient with a mouth so small they couldn't open it properly. Frustrated, he asked his female colleague for help, hoping she could find a way to get the patient's mouth open. Her solution worked like a charm. The newly elected president arrived for his first day at work and noticed 3 buttons on his desk. Curious, he pressed the first one, which summoned his secretary. Then, he pressed the second button and realized it was just the office light switch. How convenient, he thought. He'd never used such high-tech things before. Finally, he pressed the third button. Nothing happened. He pressed it again. Still nothing. Weird, he thought. Is it broken? Just then, the phone rang. Puzzled, he picked it up. Who would be calling him on his first day? The call explained what the third button was for. He pressed it again. And this time he understood clearly. It was the nuclear launch button. A woman went to the hospital for a checkup, and the doctor asked her to take off her clothes. She complied by taking off her jacket. The doctor looked at her, then glanced at the medical file, and gestured for her to continue undressing. The woman hesitantly followed the instructions. But just then, someone walked in. It turned out that guy wasn't a doctor after all. A kidnapped man, hungry and exhausted, looked worn out. Just then, a menacing kidnapper brought over a plate of food and threw it on the ground. After a quick glance, the kidnapper walked away. The man mustered all his strength and finally crawled over to the food. Without thinking, he began to devour it, stuffing his face and making a mess. Suddenly, the door creaked open. The man froze, and the kidnapper was equally shocked. A man had been stranded on a deserted island for years. One day, he spotted a yacht in the distance, a chance to finally go home. He ran to the shore, shouting for help, but it was too far away for anyone to hear him. Determined, he rushed to his tent and grabbed the signal flare he had saved for so long. But when he fired it, even so, the man didn't give up hope. Then one day, he saw a plane in the sky. With no signal flare left, he waved frantically and rushed to the spot where he had drawn a distress signal. He hoped the plane would see his SOS, but two men were on the battlefield under heavy enemy fire, and they were quickly losing ground. One of them pulled a white cloth from his bag, ready to surrender. But his teammates stopped him and threw it away. Not wanting to die, the man then unbuttoned his jacket and removed his white undershirt to use it as a surrender flag, only to be stopped again. In desperation, he quickly started to take off his pants. At a critical moment, his teammate rushed in to stop him, and they began wrestling with each other. Just then, another soldier came running over and stumbled upon the bizarre scene. Seeing the employee about to throw out chunks of beef, he quickly stepped in to stop them. The employee told him the beef had gone bad, but he just grabbed a spoonful of seasoning sauce. Smelled good, stink gone, ready to sell again. Turning around, he spotted another box of expired beef, so he gave an impromptu lesson on how to sell expired meat. Just as he was about to leave, he noticed a box of spoiled beef sauce. After smelling it, he admitted it was too strong and definitely couldn't be sold. But there's no problem he can't fix. The man arrived at his fallen comrade's home, his heart weighed down with sorrow. He looked at the family photos, unsure of how to break the news to his friend's loved ones. Sensing something, the soldier's wife immediately put down what she was doing and stepped out. The moment she saw the officer standing at the door, she instantly understood. She broke down in tears.
No!